Hey soccer fans and future ballers, welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into the world of soccer talent with a Moneyball twist. Today we're scouting Jack Bartlett, a gem from FC Stars. Let's see if he has what it takes to make it big. For those new here, I'm Oscar Moneyball and I'm all about spotting the next big thing in soccer, not just with my eyes, but with data and analytics. Today we're breaking down Jack Bartlett, a winger for FC Stars. Make sure you follow me on X for more insights, updates, and maybe a few off the pitch stories. It's where the real game happens. Click that follow button and let's keep growing this beautiful game. So my role as a scout, my job isn't just watching games. It's about predicting the future of soccer. I look for players who not only have skill, but also fit the modern game's analytics-driven approach. In soccer, we break down the game into 4 phases: attack, transition to defense, defense, and transition to attack. But for scouts, is the transitional phases where you often see that raw talent shine. Let's see how Jack Bartlett fares in these crucial moments. Jack Bartlett is a 16-year-old winger currently playing for FC Stars. According to his transfer market, his market value is under $50,000, but let's see if that's over or undervalued. Alright, let's dive deep into the highlights. Here's what I'm looking for. Strengths. Does he have that Moneyball factor? Maybe it's his vision, passing accuracy, or something else. Weaknesses. Every player has areas to improve. Is it his defensive contribution, decision making, or physicality? Special power. What's that one trait that could make him a star? Is it his dribbling, shooting, or perhaps his ability to read the game? Let's cut into these highlights and see what he has. "14 goals, 8 assists, 4 goals, 6 assists. Goals and assists." He is right there. Way to get into that space. Excellent job. Excellent job reading the space. Excellent job getting into a high XG area. Excellent job staying between the defensive line and covering that gap between the center back and the right back. Excellent job here. So let's move over to the tactical board to kind of show what happened there. So it looked like he was playing. Let's go back to just confirm. Okay, he's playing as a winger here. Okay, perfect. I got the read of it. Let's add this away team. So we have a striker. These guys are out of the picture. This guy's out of the picture. This guy's out of the picture. Here he is. So we have Jack, who's this number 7 role right here. This center back is more this way. These guys are transitioning inwards. Okay, the ball is with the winger on the right. And it looks like these 2 players got left out of the play. Oh, and he's actually inside of him. Perfect. Okay, perfect. So this is the situation here. So high XG zones, perfect. The closer you are in the red, or closer to that PK spot, between the PK spot and the 6-yard box, the higher probability of that shot is going in. It's a higher probability for that shot going in. He read the space really well. He stayed in between the 2 defenders and then made a run towards that high XG zone, basically in the back of the center back and in front of the fullback on that right hand side. Excellent read of the game, excellent vision. This guy knew exactly where he was going to be. You could tell by the way he's looking up. He knew exactly where he was going to play that ball in the space between the center back and the goalie. Excellent job there. Excellent cross. Way to be there. Way to be there. The goalie could have definitely done more. He could have been far more aggressive, but it looks like Jack wanted it. He was far more aggressive. He knew exactly where that ball was going to go. So here he is again. It looks like he's playing on the right this side. Looks like either a pass to him. Well, let's let the ball play. Ooh, nice. Great touch there. Way to put the ball in behind the defenders for your striker. So it looks like he picked up a 50-50 ball there off a rebound and played a ball into the space above the defenders, in between the defensive line and the goalkeepers. That's always crucial there. This space from the back line, that's left from the back line towards the keeper, all that space is perfect. Those are where your runs want to be. You want to be making runs in the back of the defensive players and putting that ball right above that defensive line and having it land in the right spot. Perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. He's asking for the ball, trying to make a run behind the defensive line. Perfect. So he's out of sight. He has a space. He's in the half space right now. That was really nice. Really, really nice. So let's introduce the PEP-G zones. So I know we're backwards here from the highlight, but him and the player that had the ball, his teammate that had the ball, and Jack read that he was sort of in the way of the attacking midfielder dribbling the ball forward in that center zone. He got away from zone 14, which is the zone in front of the 18-yard box where that half moon is. He pulled out into the half zone, forcing the center back to make a decision and go forward while Jack was still onside, and it was just an easy through ball here. Now, Jack unfortunately hasn't shown any instances so far in these highlights where he is able to use his weak foot. It looks like he's a right footer. That's one of the things that he had plenty of time to cut and do what he did, score in the second post. However, one thing that I would recommend Jack to do is see if he can work on his finishing with his left foot, because you will not always have the time to cut the center back and put him on his weak foot. Do you get what I'm saying? This situation here, and then taking the shot, is it leads to a beautiful goal. I mean, the good thing is that he scored it, but what if the center back gets there quick enough? You know, what if the center back has longer legs? You got to be able to take a good shot with your weak foot and show that you have the composure to finish in high XG zones. Either way, he demonstrated it with using a strong foot. Let's see where what the next play is. Beautiful. Beautiful angle on that shot. Where are you? Okay. Nice. So it looks like he has a good read of crashing into the goal and making runs behind the defensive line where his teammates are finding him in these zones. He makes really good runs into the 18-yard box. That's really fascinating. Qualities that a lot of wingers don't have. A lot of them tend to stay wide and play these outside channels a lot. It's important that you go from outside, half space, center zone, and into this 18-yard box. Really good vision there, and the technical ability of his teammates to find him in those zones. Let's see what else we see. Okay, half space, vision, sitting across. Excellent. Excellent. So it looks like he's definitely a right footer, right? We confirmed that. Excellent read. Excellent vision to find his teammate on the opposite end, and his teammate did the right thing by making a run towards the goal and not just a straight run that would have kept him out here. He has vision. He had time and space. He definitely could have dribbled, but I think he made the best decision in playing a good pass with good weight behind it to go across the 18 through the 6-yard box and for his teammate to score. Excellent. Sorry, which one was that? Who were you? He's in the center. Center zone. Thinking it. Perfect. Simple two-touch. Trap. Penetrate. So it looks like he was here. And all he did was just, again, played a ball above the defensive line in the space between the back of the defenders and the goalie. Excellent execution, good weighted pass, good finish by his teammate, going from, again, far center zone away from the goal and putting a pass in a dangerous area. These corners of the 18-yard box are really key areas to penetrate and make runs in, and it looks like he's finding his teammates in those situations, and he's also finding the ball himself in those areas. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Beautiful finish. Where are you? Is that you? Good assist. Again, making a run in between the defenders into the space behind the defenders and the goalie. Again, repeating the same actions, and great assist, putting a pass in a higher XG zone. There's a rule with XG zones here where if you are already in a high XG zone and you're able to make a pass and connect with a teammate in a higher XG zone, the probability of that goal increases significantly. In this situation here, Jack was already in a position where he could have selfishly taken a shot. However, due to the angle, due to the position, due to the goalie's coverage, it was very unlikely for that to convert into a goal. So making the decision and playing a pass into a higher XG zone and able to connect with that player is what made the difference in that play, is what pretty much secured the goal there, as the goalie exposes his weak side, and the forward in that occasion, the winger, I'm assuming he's the one running in, is scoring this in a high XG zone. Excellent job, Jack. Good decision making. Okay, here, making something out of nothing. Great dribbling. Under pressure, with resistance. Good first touch. Keeping it simple, playing a good weighted ball. Again, in between the defenders. Did we see that? Finding the gaps. See if it loads. Playing this ball in between the center back and the full back. Another winger. Again, same thing that I think this team has this play kind of perfected. They perfected this play where they keep making their wingers run into these spaces, stretching out the opponent, getting the width of the field, and then running inwards into these high XG zones on the corners of the 18-yard box. Real simple goal there. Good dribbling, good vision, good execution, all with resistance too. It's good to see that because a lot of his previous highlights were just him and the goalkeeper and people following him, the opposing team chasing after him. So it's really interesting to see how this play developed. Beautiful finish. Let's find him again. Okay. Good first touch. Under somewhat of a resistance. Has plenty of time and space. The defender definitely could have approached this ball before he even made contact with it and put a little bit more pressure on Jack. However, that's not Jack's fault. Let's see how he makes this play develop. Good turn, read of the space, one-on-one with resistance, 2v1 situation. Good. I'd say again, not Jack's fault, but the striker needs to be able to finish this without waiting for this center back to eliminate more time and space. Great decision making from Jack. Way to make this develop. Excellent counter. Went from half space, outside channel, back to the half space, and found his teammate in zone 14. It's textbook soccer there. Excellent. Sorry, I was not paying attention to the player. I think it's... Wow. Okay, so Jack's vision to find space in the final third is remarkable. Again, the high XG zones. He made this great run. Again, I think I'm right here. This team works on making the and that's sort of one of the strengths of the 4-3-3 is that you force the back forward to do this because you feel center backs feel confident that this 2v1 right here with them outnumbering the striker is the real, like they have everything under control. You have a man v man 1v1 situation on the outside wings where there's no harm, right? But again, the space between the fullbacks and the center backs is where his team is finding ways to penetrate. Let's look into, I'm going to remove the XG zones and I'm going to introduce build-up zones. So these build-up zones, there's 4 phases when building a play. So there's build, progress, penetrate, and finish. And his team is finding a way to penetrate through and getting into the finish zone very efficiently, extremely efficiently. And when you have that perfected and you time your runs, your weight of the passes, and Jack sort of pulling out and then making this run through the defenders into their backs, into the space between their backs and the goalie, it leaves a lot of decision making that sometimes a goalie is not able to do at this level, with lack of experience. They're uncertain whether they should be coming out, whether the center back has them actually covered, and so there's a lot of decision making in these plays that the defenders, if they're not trained to make these fast decisions, you're gonna see exactly what we've been seeing. You're gonna see teams just running and occupying all these lanes, open lanes, into high XG zones and do what they do best. How would I fix that if I was the opponent? I mean, you got to close up. You got to, have designated roles here and protect your 18-yard box. Your goalie has to also be able to read the game extremely well and notice where there is space, if there's players that are not making their coverages, and observing, okay, well, my fullbacks are really wide and there's a lot of space here. I got to be able to have my teammates' backs and play high and be ready for a through ball. So that's a lot of decision making that his team is taking advantage of the lack of decision making from the opponents, and making really great runs and linking up with each other. Really great stuff there. Find him. Oh, perfect. That's exactly what I want to see. I want to see something different. So his press, it's fast. He goes to make contact. A lot of players, offensive players, when they're pressing the back line, while the back line is trying to build, progress, penetrate, and finish, there's no contact. And that's very poor. That's something that as a scout we look for. Are you making the right runs? Are you blocking the center? Are you preventing them from making a pass into the center? And that's exactly what his team is doing. As you can see here, the players on the inside are all marked. And so his run is forcing him onto the outside channels, from the half space to the outside channel. But you can see here, I mean, everyone's waiting for him. It's not a man-on-man mark. It's a zone mark where you're just shadowing the passing lanes and preventing, creating uncertainty for this player to make these passes. I think a great decision from the defender would have been to split these two midfielders and find the striker in this zone, and perhaps play a third man pass where the ball goes through. He's dribbling, he's making eye contact with him, right? Play this. We have these two players that are marked. Play the through ball in between these two midfielders. Find the striker. The striker would get rid of his mark, the defensive player that's there. He would come into this space, and now either he dumps the ball, and what I mean by dump, he plays a one-touch pass or traps it and then makes a pass to either his outside channel or half space player. And now you went from build, progress, straight into a penetrate zone where now you're either your center attacking mid or your outside winger could dribble up, or I think in this case it's a fullback playing out in the wide, in the width, can find a penetrating pass into the space behind the defenders. But back to what Jack's work is doing. So Jack is covering making a run where we're eliminating the pass back to the center. There's no option for him for the opponent to play a ball back into the center, and he makes contact with the player, which forces him to lose the ball. And then let's see the play progress. So good pressure. They closed the space. I think the defender took a heavy touch, and I think they were attempting to make this. No, this forward was not checking in. Made contact, recovery. Let's see how his transition game is. Back to the offense. Excellent. Transitional phases are exactly what you need. You went from defense to transition from defense to offense. Asking for the ball. He knows where the space is. His teammate sees it. Let's see what happens. Transition into offense. They knew where the space was. Oh, beautiful play. From the what would he be? I think he was an outside winger. I mean, a fullback or a winger. Back. Wow, this was amazing. Let's see that again. The transitional game is impeccable. So he's dribbling through the center zone, went from outside channel half space into center zone, occupying the space that the team left. Great. The real space there is making a pass between these two players and getting into the finish zone. Penetrating pass. Oh my God, this was just textbook soccer. It's beautiful. So his run to the width, I think this forward is sort of in the way, but it's fine because it's forcing the center back to stay committed to the striker. Otherwise, if this forward were to make a different run, it would allow this center back to cover and shrink the space between him and his teammate here. Excellent. Good read. Played that pass right in at the perfect time because the center back made the decision, stepped up and forced. It's a game of chicken pretty much. It's who steps up at the wrong time for you to make that pass. And then continuing his run into a high XG zone, and then Jack playing him right back in. Excellent work. High XG zone into a higher XG zone. Great soccer there. Good job. Great header. Way to find his teammate. Observing. Has space. Has time. He could have been selfish, but he found a teammate in a high XG zone, higher than his own. Was unselfish. Took advantage of that. He had plenty of time. Great work. Oh, he had the ball on his feet the whole time. Oh, he recovered it. Nice. So he found a 50-50 ball. He won the 50-50 battle. He's dribbling, facing goal, has composure, dribbling with pace. Beat 1, 2, 3, and finish. Straight through the middle. Straight through the middle. Excellent job, Jack. Your observation of the situation and your commitment into a 50-50 ball in that spot where it's very likely that if you do win the ball, you run straight through the middle, just like you did. Great decision making, great footwork, great composure, great shooting skills. Good job, Jack. Let's see his chance creation. Transitional game there. He exploded. Let's observe that again. Great goal. Chance creation. Okay, so his team's defending. Black had the ball. His team recovered. Quick sprint to the space. Forward. He's forward thinking. I love it. Boom. He's asking for the ball. Forward thinking. It's penetrative pass into the finish zone. Whew. Yeah, this team has this play perfected. The pass through the 18 through the 6-yard box is just that's their thing. The first touch early cross to eliminate the time between the one of the things what I used to coach that I would teach the kids, the early crosses, because as the team is transitioning and your job as a defensive player in any situation, especially a counterattack, because that's technically what it is. The white team recovered the ball and they're transitioning from defense to attack, and they go straight into an attack and penetrate finish. You know, it's the perfect counterattack. You wanna the role of these defenders is to make this space, eliminate this space as fast as possible. Okay? The higher you are, the closer you are to the opponent's goal, the more space you leave between your keeper and yourself, right? So if you're up here, there's a lot of space between the half of the middle of the field and the goalie. Even if you're here, right? They were attacking, they were battling in the middle of the field. So what you want to do as an offensive player, as the defense is closing in this space, is play an early cross just into this space and see what happens, because there's again a lot of decision making that has to happen here. Is the goalie won't know whether to step up and intercept that pass. If he does intercept it and he does, you know, he makes it, he dives for it, leaves the rebound, it's a shot to the open goal. There's a lot of mistakes here where the center backs and the goalies can collide, leaving a rebound. There's just a lot of decisions that need to be made very, very fast in a matter of seconds when you play an early cross into the space like that. So it's much easier for the goalie and the center back to react rather than be proactive, rather than making a decision and causing a mistake. Because another situation that could happen is, as these two center backs are approaching this ball, if they happen to stick their foot out, it could be an own goal, right? There's a lot of possibilities for mistakes to happen. So bending this ball into the space and having all your players just crash into the goal is a great opportunity. Unfortunately, that opportunity was not able to lead to a goal. The defender made a last second save on the line. Great for his team, but Jack, great read of the space, good transitional game. You have a lot of potential, my friend. Oof. Is that who I think it is? Was it really him that made that move? His 1v1s with the ball, with his back against the goal. Yeah. Oof. Got rid of that. Got rid of him. Down, taking the space again. See, the ball's behind the defensive line. Great use of 1v1 skills there. Under pressure, with resistance, taking the space that's given to you, playing the good cross, good weight. Fortunately, it wasn't able to go in. Okay, he's there. He's supporting. That's great. You see, his team does that a lot. They do the overloads on the width. Look at the space that's left in the middle. So I think this is a center back here. Look at the space there. There's a huge amount of space there. Space behind the defensive line and the goalkeeper. Look how far that goalkeeper is. He's checking in, has good posture. He's checking into the half space as a striker. When the ball is, eliminate the high XG zones. When the ball's in the width on the outside channel, right, and you're a striker in the center zone, who's occupying this half space, right? Obviously, it's the role of, your center attacking mids to kind of do this, right? To be this support, but you're still on a 3v2 situation where you're outnumbered. So yeah, you kind of got to throw some numbers in here and get into this half space for the support. We're thinking forward thinking. We don't want to make if we don't need to play this ball back, if we can maintain possession, even in these tight situations, what Jack did there to supporting his teammate on the flanks is really good. It's something that we actually look for when we scout players. If you're a player that your role is to occupy the center zones, which is this pink area that's here, how do you support your teammates? How do you maintain possession? How do you are you forward thinking? Are you covering the ball? Are you all these little things, and it looks like he's doing that really well, supporting his teammate on that half space, it looks like the play is going to develop where his winger gives him the ball, then makes the run down the outside channel to find him again, using him as support, finding space for his teammate, creating space for his teammate, because by him checking into this half space forces the center back to follow him, creating space for the winger to come in, creating space for the number 10 to also come in, creating a lot of opportunities here. And you also have to realize that it's a chess game. If you move your pieces and the opponent falls for your move and exposes weaknesses, your teammates have to be able to read these opportunities. So let's see how this develops. Let's see if anyone plays into this position. So you have the fullback, you have a winger, you have a striker, you have a center mid, all in the same zone. 1, 2, 3, 4 against 4, 4v4. They're trying to outnumber the opponents here. It's a 4v4 match. Boom, exactly. What did I say? Played him down the line, crossed it in, took a shot. Oof. Always facing the goal. Always facing the goal. Ball win, assist, game-winning pen. Wins the ball. Dribbles forward. Let's start this again. Okay. Boom. Let's draw this out. So his team is defending. Let's just throw them all in here. Everyone's attacking. Let's see what it looks like. So striker. So there's a striker on the opposite end with this probably a center back. Challenging number 6. This guy's over here. This is what it looks like. We'll fix it if we see anything different. So, as I mentioned earlier, look at the space between the last defender and the goalie, right? Assuming the goalie steps up a bit. Usually, at this level, we really don't see any goalies covering these spaces here. You know, that's something that Manuel Neuer has introduced into the game, playing really high. Ederson playing really high. It's that Pep Guardiola, factor where you don't want to leave a lot of space between the last defender and the goalie, right? You want to eliminate that space. Your role as the last defender is to eliminate that space on the counter. That's your reading of a transitional game. So Jack won the ball and is on the loose with plenty of space. He showed that he's a great dribbler. He's quick. He knows how to read the game. He knows how to occupy space and find the space. Let's see how the play develops. So he wins the ball, transitions from defense to attack. Big heavy touches. Oh wow. So three defenders. I'll probably draw this guy here. All in the center zone. It's a 3v2. Okay. You see, there's a lot of space between the midfield line, the defenders. He's occupying the space between the midfield and the defenders. Great job. Heavy touches. The team's doing what they need to do, eliminating the space. But here they slow down. It's a 1v1 situation. They're slowing down when their role should be to continue to eliminate this space here. Let's see what he does on a 1v1. Continues to take the center zone. Finds the space. Finds a through ball. Splitting the defenders. A penetrative pass into a finished zone. He could do a little better by crashing into the 18-yard box, but that's where you get the pen. Good job. All right, let's see what we got next here. So in summary, right? So after our deep dive, here's the verdict. His current grade, this is where he stands now. From what I saw, I would give him a C grade, current grade. That does not mean that those grades are not like school grades, C being average, or anything like that. It's a monetary value of what he's worth right now. His potential grade, what I think he could achieve with development, with the right development, I think he could be a B grade. I think he has the potential to play at a really high level in the United States. I don't really think that it matters where he plays. If he's playing ECNL, MLS next, does not matter. I think he has a threshold where he has a high ceiling. His market value, if I were a betting man, I'd say he's definitely worth the under 50K in today's market. But remember, in the world of Moneyball, it's not just about what he's worth now. It's but what he could be worth with the right coaching and in the right environment. He has a really high ceiling. One thing that I would recommend to you, Jack, would be to add to your highlight reel your defensive actions, your defensive transitioning from your team attacking and then losing the ball. So how you recover and support your teammates, your what's your tactic, what are the tactics that you're doing, your roles that you're playing when you're defending as well, because a lot of this is just attacking and transitioning into defense to offense. There's not much of the opposite. There's not much of transition from attack to defense, and I would add that to your highlight reel just to make this a full package. What you showed here is great. I would also show some mistakes, some bad crosses, dribbles into the final third that show your composure even if it doesn't lead to anything. Great highlight reel, but just remember, attack, transition from attacking to defense, and transition from defense to offense. Make that your highlight reel, and you got a solid highlight reel here. Gonna do this real quick just to do the closing. So that's our scouting report on Jack Bartlett. If you enjoyed this deep dive into soccer analytics and scouting, hit that like button, subscribe, and let's keep the conversation going in the comments. Who's the next player you want me to scout? Drop their names below. Until next time, keep your eyes on the ball and your mind on the stats. Peace.